Am I the asshole here for telling my husband that he absolutely ruined the birth of our child? Hi everyone. Our daughter is now 8 weeks old, so obviously this whole argument has gone on a very, very long time. We both have been holding grudges, and neither of us think that we are wrong. My husband does not know that I'm posting this, so I am going to keep it as anonymous as possible. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, my husband started in immediately telling me that I should have a home birth. I really do not know why he was so adamant on it, but he was. At first I brushed him off, and I told him that I would think about it because I was only 6 weeks pregnant and the birth seemed so far off. Of course, it came quickly, and my husband would literally speak over me at doctor's appointments when my doctor would ask if I had a birth plan. This caused a few arguments between us in those 39 weeks of pregnancy, but I never really changed my mind. Eventually, my husband's mother sat down and talked to me, and she told me all of the reasons why they did not want me to go to a hospital for the birth. I expressed my concerns about, safety of the baby and myself, but just like my husband, she brushed me off. I ended up telling my husband that I would take myself to the hospital when it was time and that I did not want a home birth. He acted as if he didn't hear me. We met with a doula who was also very pushy. I felt overwhelmed and not supported at all. I was 36 weeks at that point. So when I went into labor, I was 39 weeks and I begged, absolutely begged my husband to take me to the hospital where my doctor is, but he wouldn't. He spoke to me condescendingly and called the doula instead. I was in labor for about 3 days. Active labor for around the last 22 hours. I cried the whole time. I just felt something was wrong. I was scared, and oftentimes they left me alone. The doula told me that if active pushing in labor reached 24 hours, then I had to go into the hospital. I remember thinking that I could not decide which was worse, staying in labor for another 2 hours or having my baby right there. When she was finally out, I don't remember wanting to hold her, I just remember crying out of relief. Obviously I'm okay now, but I did not have a good experience. On my first appointment after birth with my doctor, she was very shocked I had the baby. She was concerned. I was so upset. I told my husband that he absolutely ruined it for me. I truly never want to go through that again. I hear mothers say that they forget all the pain the second they have the baby, but I didn't. I love my daughter so much, but it was horrible, and it was entirely his fault. So, I told him that, several times. He rolls his eyes every time and tells me how mothers are strong and how I'm not trying to be strong. I told him that if we ever have another baby, which he wants, that I will never do a home birth ever again. His response is, "We'll see." I cannot possibly be the asshole here, can I? Everyone around me is acting like this is so normal, but it's not. Is it? In the comments, this man and his family are a clear danger to you and your child. Call the police, report everyone, take the baby, and leave. This right here, OP, this is outright abuse of you at a very vulnerable time for you. Not the asshole, and do not have another child with this man. Please leave him now before he raises your child his way and only his way. Your wishes will never be respected because this man and his mother do not respect you. Please, OP, put you and your daughter first. How scary is the "we'll see" comment? Like, what? Excuse you? After all of that trauma and being told that she is still traumatized by it, we'll see? Oh, this story has my anger boiling. If this is true, then take the baby and fucking run. Yep, not a good situation for her and the baby. Totally ignoring her wishes and what's best for her health. Also, this is just the start, especially when it comes to the baby. He and his family think they will know better than health professionals. He could have killed her. My baby went into distress and did a poo in my womb, so I had to have an emergency cesarean. He had to be revived after birth. Both of us would have died if we hadn't been in hospital, and my second birth with twins was an absolute horror show. I nearly died and ended up in intensive care. Twins were in incubators and 5 weeks premature. There was a lot of blood involved in that. I don't even like to think about it. I hated being stuck in hospital afterwards, and being in the NICU ward was awful. But they did save us. Not the asshole, you are not his wife, you are his incubator. This is insane. Mothers are strong, you're not trying to be strong? And just like that, he is blind to her humanity. Get out, OP. Truly shocking and scary stuff that something like this can happen, and OP is like, yeah, we're gonna have another child. I hate that so much. I am so sad on OP's behalf. These people would not have cared if she and the baby died. Let's be honest. At least the doula was like, yeah, we're gonna have to take you to the hospital at some point. But these people sound to me like complete anti-science, anti-medicine nut jobs, who would sooner see her and the baby die than to bring her to a place that will keep her alive, that will do it safely, that will keep her from being in pain. Absolute psychopaths. And I'm surprised that OP hasn't left sooner. I truly am. I know it's not that easy, but Jesus Christ, run! And now, onto the update, 1 year later. Hello. I'm not sure if anyone remembers me on my post from about a year ago. I logged off there at the end because people were accusing me of making it up or being a fake account because someone commented something on the post. I can promise you it was never fake. I'm still here a year later. I really honestly just remembered this account, and I remember so many of the kind messages that I got both on the post and on chats, and I just wanted to say thank you. I'm away from my ex-husband. You guys helped me open my eyes to so much worse things he was doing than what I posted about. I have 2 daughters now, and I just can't imagine raising either of them with a man like him, and without you guys or the post, I would have done it. So thank you. I am now 22 years old, and I shiver to think about the fact that I probably would have spent the rest of my life with him. If you're a young mum like me, please trust me that you can do it. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. This is a silly website, and it was a moment of desperation for me, but it changed my life. And if you're a woman sitting here reading this, thinking there's no way you'll ever get away from your person, just remember that 1 year can change your life. Just read my posts from a year ago and choose a better life for yourself and your babies. They deserve it, and you deserve peace and happiness. Thank you again. In the comments, I remember your post and you saying if you ever had another child, you wouldn't do a home birth again. It sounds like you had another daughter. Were you able to get away from that monster in time to have a better birthing experience this time around? And OP says, yes, I was pregnant when I left, but I had my second daughter at a women's hospital, and it was an amazing experience. I don't want anyone to be scared because of my story. Babies are wonderful. I'm so glad you got to experience the safe birth you wanted all along. Sending so much love and positivity your way. You've earned it. I remember your situation really good. Sometimes I thought about you and asked myself if you finally left him because I thought that this mama's boy was even crueler. I'm happy that he is now your ex-husband. I hope that you really are free now. I'm glad you got out of an abusive situation. What's the story with the second daughter? Did you get pregnant again immediately? That's awfully fast. And OP says, pregnant approximately 8 to 9 weeks postpartum. Yes. Wasn't exactly my choice, and I love my daughter so much, so I'll never not be grateful for her, but it wasn't ideal. But being pregnant again made me rethink everything. She saved me. Oh, that's terrifying. So, didn't even choose to get pregnant again. Love that. Obviously sarcasm, I hate that. It does not surprise me at all that a man that says, we'll see about you going to a hospital in the future after this horrific home birth that I forced you into, did not give you a choice about your body and your birth, or any of that it wasn't your choice either in getting pregnant again, 8 to 9 weeks postpartum. This guy is moving on the devil's timing, that's for sure. It's not mentioned at all, and it's not going to happen, but I really, honest to God, Wish you could take legal action against someone that does shit like this. I'm so sorry you went through that, OP, and I'm so happy that you are doing better now and you escaped from him and you had a lovely birth of your daughter. Congratulations all around. I hope he stays away. Our next post is by a throwaway account, and it's titled, Me, 26 female, visiting my family with my boyfriend, 27 male, of 6 years. We are staying with my parents for the week leading up to my sister's 24 female wedding. I just saw my boyfriend and sister, who was to be married in less than 3 days, walk into her bathroom together. Me and my boyfriend have been together since our 3rd year in university. Once we both graduated, my boyfriend got a job across the country in Anaheim, and I followed him. This weekend is my little sister's wedding. My sister and I have always gotten along. It was really hard on the both of us when I moved so far away, and we keep in contact literally every day. She and my boyfriend never really had any sort of a friendship simply due to the fact that they never spent much time together. The first couple days we spent at my parents' place, everything was normal. We landed around noon and spent the day with my family. My sister was running around meeting with caterers and stuff, so she didn't get home until later in the evening. We said our usual hellos and caught up, and then headed to bed. Monday morning is when things felt weird. I noticed immediately at breakfast my boyfriend and sister were so much more talkative with each other than usual. I also noticed him giving her these weird looks, and my sister smiling or smirking back. I didn't think too much of it, but then after lunch, they announced they would be going to meet the wedding planner. The planner was in Brooklyn, and my boyfriend said that he wanted to check out a used game store there, so he was going to tag along. Okay, cool, but when they got back, about 45 minutes later, he smelled like her perfume, which isn't a huge deal because her car reeks of it, and it could have just stuck onto him, I guess, but it was still weird. The next night I woke up around 2 a.m. and I noticed my boyfriend was not in bed. I waited a couple of minutes, and when he didn't come back, I got up to look for him. And right as I opened my room door, he was getting ready to walk back inside. He looked shocked to see me, and when I asked him where he was, he gave me some mumbling answer about throwing something in the garbage. I noticed again he smelt like my sister's perfume, but I didn't say anything. He brushed past me to the bathroom located in our room and turned on the tap. I heard him washing his face and brushing his teeth. So today, Wednesday, I noticed my boyfriend and sister weren't going near each other. As much as they'd been getting along the last few days, they were keeping their distance. I asked both of them separately if everything's okay, and both assured me everything was fine, even asking, "Why are you asking if I'm okay?" When we went to bed tonight, I decided to pretend to sleep and see what my boyfriend did. Around 11:30, he called my name a couple of times, to which I did not respond. I then heard him get up and creep out of bed. I waited until he was outside the door and then followed him. I saw him walk into the bathroom across the hall. I waited in my doorway for a minute, and then I saw my sister come out of her room and walk into the same washroom. I had no idea what to do. Do I go to my sister's fiancé, my parents, confront them? I'm currently hiding in the living room, and it's been about 2 hours since this happened. My boyfriend has not come looking for me yet. In the comments, In a New Day says, "You have to confront them. It's gonna be hard, but you need to know what's going on, and so does her fiancé." Wow. You need to go to that bathroom right now and openly bust them. Seriously, 2 hours? Go bust in that door. I am along for the ride, so I say, go bust them, OP. Let's go see what's going on there. Are they cheating? What's the grand mystery? Are they going on secret adventures together in the middle of the night? I don't know, but I'm invested and I'm keen to hear what's happening. And now, onto the update. OP updated the next day with an edit, saying, "So we have this little stair landing area with a couch. You can see the upstairs hallway pretty clearly. I was sitting there with my phone and a blanket when my sister walked out of her room and into the bathroom. About 3 minutes later, my boyfriend walked in. The bathroom locks are the type you can unlock with the turn of a coin. I stood outside for literally 10 minutes and I heard almost nothing, just some shuffling here and there. So I open the door quietly, and I see my sister on the bathroom counter looking at something on her phone. My boyfriend has half his body out the bathroom window, and my sister jumped off the counter and said my name, and my boyfriend pulled his head back. He had a pipe in his hand. It turns out they'd been sneaking around because they've been weed buddies the last couple of days. I had no clue they were smoking together or that my sister smoked at all. The first night we were here, he was going downstairs to get a glass of water and smelled the pot when he walked past her bedroom. He asked her about it the next day, and that's when they started to smoke together. He smelled like her perfume because they wanted to spray something to get the pot smell off them, and that's why he washed his face and brushed his teeth when he came back into the room last night, so I wouldn't smell the weed on him. They were being so sneaky about it because little sister was unsure that I would approve about her marijuana habit. I don't care at all. I knew my boyfriend is a casual smoker since the day we met. Very relieved, to say the least. Thank you all for your help. I feel like a complete idiot. Sorry for wasting your time. In the comments, it's funny because when you said her car reeks of perfume, I thought, she probably gets high in there. I feel really good about that fact. When I was reading through it, I thought to myself, it sounds like they might be sneaking smoke breaks. Yay for not jumping straight to infidelity, brain. The whole time I was reading this, I was thinking this is textbook smoker behavior. And then I read the last edit. If she was fine with her boyfriend being a pot smoker, why did he not tell her sister she would probably be chill and decide to sneak around about it instead? Well, that's because boyfriend flew into town with OP, ergo he did not have his own weed. This was sister's weed, and sister said, okay, but only if you promise not to tell my sister. They who hold the weed hold the power. Anyone else still weirded out that these two would spend more than 2 hours together in the bathroom after midnight just to smoke weed together? I'm not a weed smoking person, so I don't know if that's more normal or what. To be honest, not ridiculous, especially if you smoke often and are having a stressful time. When I was a lot younger, we used to hotbox in the car for literally hours. And that's fair enough. I don't partake in the sticky icky myself, so things like being in labor for 3 days and smoking for 2 hours are situations to me being like, damn, that's a long-ass time. That seems like way longer than you should be in these situations. But I hold my tongue. I don't do the immediate reactionary being like, oh, what the hell? That's so weird. Oh my god. Something's wrong here. We need to get to the bottom of this because there's evil afoot. These are evil people in evil times. Although I guess the smoking one I have a bit more understanding of because people are very casually or maybe even competitively smoking up that ganja these days. And it doesn't surprise me that people would smoke for 2 hours at a time because it's not like you're just constantly puffing on it. You'd be taking your time with it and slowly easing into the high, I'd imagine. Weird situation, but thank you for the story, OP. I'm glad you got to the bottom of that. Our next post is by Anton's Key from the r/x Mormon subreddit, and it's titled, Need a Good Divorce Attorney, Salt Lake Area. So my wife's father is super rich and never hesitates to throw gobs of money at whatever problem she has. He also hates my guts. That's just to say that I'm sure he will pay for the best attorneys that money can buy. I need someone who's good, but can fight relatively cheaply. Does anyone have a recommendation? In the comments, Nevermo says, no suggestions, just wanted to say that you have my sympathies. Good luck with the coming fight, and OP says, thanks. I don't have any wise words of wisdom, honestly, because we don't have much to go with, but I will say this one has a few updates to go, so it's definitely a little bit of a saga that happened over a long time. And now for the first update. A while back, I asked for advice on a good divorce attorney in another sub, and someone said, you don't have to hire the best or most expensive attorney. You need to consult with the top family attorneys in town. The lawyer cannot represent your ex-to-be if you discussed your marriage with them. It's a conflict of interest. Read up on it. There's a few tricks you can pull to help even the playing field. OP says, Based on the advice I got, I spent the next few weeks talking with like 30 divorce attorneys in town so that my wife and her dad would not be able to hire one. I never hired an attorney myself because I could not afford one, but my wife found one anyway. That just sounds insane. I don't know if that's good advice. Apparently, they found out what I did, probably because it was so hard for her to get an attorney, and today I just got hit with a motion for attorney fees, saying what I did was abusive process, an attempt to deprive and interfere with justice, bad faith, and a bunch of other stuff, and that I have to pay part of her attorney fees because I made it more expensive for her. Is there something I can do to stop this? This is in Utah. In the comments, why in the hell would you listen to some internet commenter? For shit's sake, you shouldn't even listen to me without independently verifying your information with an actual attorney. You are literally up shit's creek without a paddle on this one, friend, but see an attorney in your area who will know more about your particular locality's rules and can probably help you soften the blow. Edit, and that person's comment wasn't even accurate. Point of clarification, don't see all the attorneys in your area again. Wow, you sound like my soon-to-be ex-uncle. He did the same thing and was also hit with a similar motion. Talk to your attorney, if you can remember which one actually represents you, and ask if there's anything they can do. Other than that, I have no advice for you. And now for Update 2. After reading almost 1,000 PMs and messages calling me an asshole, an evil person, I don't know anymore if I am or not. I think I agree with them. When every lawyer with a blog uses you as a bad example to get more clients and the whole world is laughing at you, I even had the media try to interview me. I screwed up any chances of ever going to law school and probably getting any significant custody over my kids, and I am financially ruined. As much as I would like to blame other people, and did for a few days, I can't anymore. What I did was wrong, and it was me who did it. Why did I do that? The crazy thing is, I never would have even considered doing something like this when I was TBM, but I got excited and it felt like everyone in the sub was on board. I thought that leaving TSCC would make me a better person, but if I'm honest with myself, I have to admit that I am a worse person because it's not just this, it is other stuff too. Is it the same for anyone else? Does anyone else think that they've become a worse person since leaving? I don't believe there's a God, but I don't know what to do. I sure as hell can't run my own life, as everything I've done lately has just fucked it up. I just don't know where to turn to or what to do. In the comments, well, you didn't cause Chernobyl or marry a 14-year-old, so you have that going for you. Thanks, commenter 1. Yeah, the Chernobyl thing was my bad. Sorry again, guys. Man, I'm sorry. You really screwed up. You lost a hell of a lot of ground. I don't know what else to tell you, but do try to take stock of what you've got going for you. Don't give up on things prematurely. At least try first. Don't drink. Maybe, socially with people, but if you start down the road of drinking 4+ drinks a night, a week, at home, because you've got nothing better to do, and when you're not drinking, it just feels like the whole world is weighing down on you, it's a ridiculously difficult habit to break out of, and that's when your life isn't actually all that shitty like mine. If you have actual woes, I can't even imagine. Commenter 4 says, I was told by a law professor that as far as a divorce is concerned, there are rarely reasonable people. People do crazy things when divorce is afoot. You did something stupid, but it doesn't mean that you are uniquely bad. You are a normal person in a very hard and emotional situation, and you did something stupid. Try to get over it. You have years left in your life. This will pass. Move on and find something worth being happy about. You aren't any different than millions of normal people. And now onto Update 3. OP shows up to give a warning, their final known comment on the thread, what is a horrible life pro tip that sounds good? It's also not their final update, by the way. A commenter says, There was a thing on Reddit a while back where someone was getting a divorce, and someone recommended that they go to every lawyer in town for a consultation. The reason is that legally, the lawyers could not take his soon-to-be ex-wife's case if he had already gone to them for advice or something. It ended very poorly for him. OP comes in and says, "I'm not here to defend myself. I acknowledge that what I did was wrong and very stupid, but I was summoned to this thread and I can't help but correct misinformation when I see it. I was not advised to just talk to one lawyer. Multiple people in that thread told me that I should talk to a bunch of attorneys, and I did not consult with every lawyer in town. That would be literally hundreds or thousands of lawyers." And now for the final update. OP shows up to give another warning. This is their final known comment on the thread Unethical Life Pro Tip. If you're initiating a divorce, secretly arrange consultation with all the best divorce attorneys in your area before choosing one and filing. Once they have met with you, even briefly, they are considered biased and will have to recuse themselves from representing your spouse. OP says, "Wow, this is still coming up? I hired a lawyer who wrote an opposition paper to their motion for fees. We had a hearing. The judge denied their motion. He said that she suffered no harm because she was able to find a good lawyer. He scolded me for trying that stunt, but he also scolded her lawyer for filing a motion which the judge called meritless, and no more than a transparent attempt to make me look bad. We reached a divorce agreement over custody and whatnot a little while after that, which both of us were okay with. I now have a great relationship with my kids and have a good co-parenting relationship with my ex-wife. I am in a very different and much better place now than I was when I did that stupid and awful thing. I no longer would take legal advice from the internet, and I would not take any advice from r/ex-Mormon. I'm sorry for what I did, and for even having the mindset of wanting to screw over another human being." It's so crazy. It's why you don't take advice, especially legal advice, from the internet. Maybe listen to the opinions of people and take that on board, but you don't really action shit like this unless you have proper representation. Come on. In the comments, "For all the bad advice, it seems he got out relatively unscathed. Yeah, he was pretty doom and gloom there for a bit, but, I'm from Utah, ex-Mormon, divorced. Yeah, some things can feel bad for a while. A divorce and a religious crisis can be overwhelming. People don't make it through sometimes. But life goes on, and things calm down and smooth over, and then you run into someone from high school and tell them what you've been up to, and some of that story might even be a little fun. And it wasn't when it happened, but now, because life drags on, you just have new problems, and don't hardly even remember your old problems." And someone asks, what does TBM and TSCC mean? True Believing Mormon and the so-called church are both terms used frequently among ex-Mormons and r/ex-Mormon. Well, there you go, guys. The saga of the guy that took stupid advice from r/ex-Mormon and actioned it and got burnt because of it. I really feel like when we see advice so out of left field that isn't usually said on places like r/legal advice, it's going to be a bad idea to action that advice. And in this case, it definitely was. If it sounds too good to be true, don't do it, because it is too good to be true. You goddamn idiot, OP. But that was definitely wildly entertaining, so thank you for this story. I will be learning from your mistakes. I will not be listening to Reddit when it comes to legal advice. I will be listening to my lawyer. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.